Happy No Shave November, Internet. This is Prejudged and Underestimated. Thanks for joining us. Today's topic is movies, as commissioned by Josh Laughlin, one of my best friends in the whole world, who also was my roommate for 5 years. A little known fact about me is I own over 330 movies on DVD, which is an obscene amount of DVDs to own. I give you full ride to judge me for that one. That's just crazy. But today's topic is bad movies. Josh commissioned that I talk about the 5 worst movies of all time, but instead, because that was just such a hard list to condense to 5, I'm going over the 5 worst things about movies. We are going to call them movie killers, because they kill movies faster than a speeding bullet, much like Superman on red kryptonite. Okay, let us begin. The twist for twist's sake. This is where, at the end of the movie, or at some point during the movie, the director or writers just say, boom, random thing that makes no sense and doesn't fit into the storyline, and you're just asked to assume that that makes sense. It's like they feel like the movie isn't good enough on its own, so they have to throw in some random thing just for shock value. The best way I can describe this is when you tell a story and it doesn't seem to land, so you say, and then I found $5. You know, it doesn't really fit into the story, has nothing to do with it, but you do it as an attempt to save something that probably shouldn't have been saved. No care for source material. This one has probably killed more movies than anything else on this list, based on the fact that it happens just about every time a movie is made from a book or a comic series or real-life event or a TV series. You know, they take just enough so they can use that title, and then the rest they just run with. Some classic examples of this is Deadpool and Wolverine, the entire Aragon movie, Ghost Rider 2, which I haven't seen, but the directors themselves specifically said they're not even looking at material on the bad guy they chose. They just thought he looked cool. I mean, these things are blatant disregard for the fans, for the original writers. It's just a slap in the face to those of us who care. Is continuity / believability. This one I let slide more often than all the others because, let's face it, when you're watching movies about people who can fly or shoot lasers out of their eyes or, you know, aliens, stuff like that, you tend to let believability fall out the window. But there are certain things needed to complete believability. So, you know, that's what I like about those movies. They explain things like that. You know, he came from another planet, he was bitten by a radioactive spider, things like that. But then when you add in things that shouldn't exist and don't explain it, that is when it gets hard to believe, and that's when it falls through this killer. Such as, take Wanted, for example. You know, they explain the crap out of bending bullets, which is fine, because that was believable to me then because of that. But then they have things like their cars being thrown into buses and driving away without a scratch, people jumping through windows of skyscrapers all the way across the street onto another building and not being phased. See, these things they never explain and thusly are just really hard to believe, and it takes you out of the movie. And the thing is, the problem with this killer is it's so easy to fix. All they would have had to do is throw in one line of dialogue saying, you know, oh, our cars are reinforced by blah, blah, blah believability. And this guy jumped through that window because he had blah, blah believable powers. That's it. That movie would have rocked for me then, you know? Oh yeah, sure, bullets can fly through 5 different people because we use special blah blah bullets. These terrible sequels to great movies. This is a sad killer because a lot of these movies are great, and then the sequel comes out and it makes you kind of question the greatness of the first one. A classic example of this is Boondock Saints. Incredible movie, just fantastic. Terrible sequel. The sequel just almost ruined the first movie for me. It didn't, but it was close. Other examples would be just about any Disney movie sequel, because Disney just feels like they have to ride the success of the first one, and it never works. And the number one movie killer for me is stupid bad guys. That's right. When a movie comes out with just this complete idiot for a bad guy, that is the hardest movie for me to follow. Because we're supposed to both A, believe that this bad guy's a mastermind that is, orchestrating some evil plot, and that they're stupid at the same time. Let's face it, if a bad guy can be thwarted by children, then that bad guy deserves to fail. I mean, there's no backing that guy. He's just an idiot. And this is probably why I didn't really get into a lot of children's movies as a kid. I really didn't. I didn't follow a lot of them because it was like, really? That guy is the bad guy? Movies I did get into as a kid were just about any of the Disney movies, because let's face it, their bad guys were downright evil and like of nightmares, not idiots. Jafar was terrifying. Maleficent could turn into a dragon. That one lady was poisoning apples, and let's face it, Ursula was just gross, but evil and smart. I mean, those were bad guys. That's why I like the Kung Fu Panda movies so much. The bad guys are awesome. Just terrifying and evil and smart. But then you got those movies where those bad guys are falling all over each other and just slipping on things. Oh my goodness. They deserve to lose. And then probably go to prison. And then probably get, shanked. There. Well, there you have it. Those are my top 5 movie killers. You can find them across the nation in just about every movie rental store there is. My shout out this week goes to another YouTuber named Charlie Is So Cool Like. This kid in England who is just hilarious. Also, I kind of stole the idea to drink coffee and or tea during the episodes from him. So his information is down there, and if you like the video, hit like. If you like all my videos, plural, then subscribe, because there's going to be more to come. And this has been Prejudged and Underestimated. Thanks for joining me today. A great example of a stupid bad guy would be any of the Fox execs who canceled Firefly or decided that shutting Deadpool's mouth in the movie was a smart idea. Stupid bad guys. Ruining movies.